Alright guys, welcome back to another Fortnite video, and in this one we are going to be doing the second episode of 5 weird tips. You guys really liked the previous episode, but in case you are new to this series, what exactly do I mean by 5 weird tips? Well, basically this video isn't going to feature the normal types of tips you see in other videos, the basic tips, you know, the boring tips. This one is going to feature super unique tips that are super creative and things that most players do not even know about. So in fact, a good example of a player that uses a bunch of creative tips like this would be Tifu. If you watch his streams, he's always using creative things, but even he doesn't know about a bunch of these tips that I'm going to show you. So yeah guys, going to be a very helpful video, and if you enjoy it, be sure to smack that like button down below. The support on the videos lately has been amazing. I really do appreciate it so much. And along with that, comment down below what level you guys are at, especially since double XP weekend just ended. Personally, I made it to level 74, so I've still got a little bit of a ways to go, but I think I can make it. But yeah guys, without further ado, let's jump on into it here with the first tip of the video. Finally, I found some. Alright guys, but yeah, we're going to get into game here in just a sec and show you this next tip, but basically it has to do with the clingers, as you can see. Now I know what you're thinking, the clingers are one of the most useless items in the game. I mean, they're fun to use, but when you have RPGs, grenade launchers, stuff like that, why would you really need to use the clingers? Well, that actually was the case, you know, clingers weren't that good, but with the recent patch where like every explosive can actually damage more walls besides the ones that are like directly in front of it, now stuff like the clingers have been super useful because you can actually use this trick to get a kill on somebody who's blocked off in their 1x1. So yeah, let's switch into game here and show you exactly what I mean. So if I build a little just, you know, 1x1 for this, you know, demonstration, say this guy is looking at me, I'm gonna be behind that car, but he's looking at me, you know, trying to take shots on me, and I'm down here without a whole lot. I mean, I've got my, you know, scoped thermal AR, but there's not a whole ton I can do. He's obviously got the advantage here. Well, with the clingers, I can actually eliminate him without really doing anything, and this is exactly how it works. You just want to throw all of your clingers right on the front of the wall. So just throw them as quickly as possible, and when they all blow up, did you see that? How they actually stayed up in the air? The first one blew up and took out the entire structure, and then the other two blew up in place of that, and since there's no wall in front of it, it actually would do damage on that guy and eliminate him. So in case that doesn't make sense to you guys, here is an example of me actually doing this in game yesterday, and as you can see, this guy's in a 1x1 or something like that, trying to get the drop on me. So I have clingers, not a whole ton else, and I just toss a couple of clingers over there. They stick to the wall, the first one blows it up, and then the others actually do the damage to him before he can even react. So yeah guys, this tip is super overpowered. Honestly, I learned about it because it happened to me and I was like, how in the world did I die? But now that I know about it, I actually carry clingers just in case I get into a situation like this. So yeah, definitely don't drop the clingers. They can be super useful, especially in solo. Alright guys, but moving on to the next tip I have for you. This one has to do with a special little, you know, trick for peeking, because as you guys probably know, recently they patched the thing where you could like look through your buildings. They obviously put these weird things right here, and you can't really see through them. I mean, you can kind of see through the cracks, but then again, you might as well just leave it normal if you're going to do it that way. And oh crap, the storm, run! Boom, let's go right up here. This will be a good spot. But yeah, again, you can't look through it anymore because of this weird little patch. So how do you then, you know, peek? And by the way, this is actually one of 2 different peeks I'm going to be showing in this video. This one isn't the one in the thumbnail, but it's still probably one of the best. But basically, if you are in your 1x1 and you know you want to peek and kind of be safe from peeking, what you can do is put a roof piece above you just like this. And then when you edit that roof piece, something like that, you can then actually look through it and peek above it. Now you can also kind of raise them up a little bit so you don't have that weird, you know, gray like lines of the roof piece kind of, you know, sticking in your way. And then you can peek out like that. And you're completely safe. Nobody can shoot through you this way, but you still get to have a pretty good, safe view. Then you can also, you know, if you want to go the other way, reverse your steps, you know, put the roof piece back to normal and then reverse it the other way and you can peek just like that. Oh, and also crouching does let you look a little bit like higher, it seems like. So this is very useful. Again, if we reset it like that and look from the outside, that's what everybody else is going to be seeing. So they're not going to be able to shoot you, and you're going to be able to see everything you want to. So it's a fun little trick and can be super useful. Now, as for the next tip I want to show you, this one actually has to do with an emote that technically gives you an advantage. It's one of the only emotes that actually gives you an advantage in game, and it's a pretty useful advantage if you practice it enough, sort of get used to it, and can pull it off in certain situations. Now, which emote am I talking about? Well, if we go over to our locker, we have it over here. It is the flippin' sexy emote that occasionally comes into the item shop once in a while. It's not there right now, but it has come back a ton, and when it came back last time, that is when I bought it, just because it is useful in certain situations and can give you a slight advantage. So let's go into a game here and show you exactly what I am talking about. So let's just jump right into a sort of secluded space, maybe the containers over here. But yeah, you might be thinking, when can this emote be useful? Because as you can see, this is all that it does. It's a pretty weird emote, to be honest. Well, it's actually very useful for when, especially when you're in houses trying to peek around a corner, or it doesn't even have to be in a house. It can be like right here. Say there's a guy, you know, right there. He's right next to that container taking a look at me. He knows I'm over here behind this wall and I'm trying to peek at him, but I know if I peek like this, he's probably going to get a shot on me. So that's like the usual way of doing it. You just go out, you know, try and get a shot off. That way I just hit the wall. But I mean, he's going to be able to shoot you as well. It's just a little bit risky. So instead, you can actually use the flippin' sexy emote to peek and keep yourself like pretty safe. So as you can see right here, you do the emote. When you land, you move over, shoot. And for that first part where you're on the ground, he's not going to be aiming down here. He's going to be aiming up here. So you're going to be safe for that first portion. And like right there you saw, I was barely out in the open. So again, it takes timing and practice, and you can also troll like that, which looks so weird. We'll have to take a look in theater. And actually, yeah, let's go into theater mode and see what it looks like from the enemy's perspective. Okay, so yeah, say we're right here. This is us trying to peek at our, you know, ourselves over there, and that's how it would look usually when you're peeking. So instead, if we do the emote, it looks like this instead. Like, look at that. You would be aiming at like chest height and you would not be able to get a shot off. You might look down quickly, but for the most part, it's going to throw off your opponent a little bit. But like that right there, let's go and watch that over again in like slow-mo. Like there was one that wasn't perfect, but like this next one right here, look at that. That's insane. You wouldn't be able to get a shot at chest height at all. So yeah, guys, definitely one of the most useful emotes, which sounds weird to say, but if it comes back into the shop, you might want to buy it and start practicing that. Now, moving on to the fourth tip here. This is the second way of peeking after, you know, the annoying patch that fixed all of the peeking stuff. I honestly did not like that patch, but I get why they did it, but there are still some workarounds. So this one actually has to do with roof pieces. Now, how exactly does it work? Well, you pull out your roof pieces, and then what you want to do is place them on the ground like this. And it's a little bit complicated, but then you want to edit them and make sure just to raise the center one. Now, if you do this on all of yours, and it's pretty simple to do, you just have to click the first square towards you. You get this weird little pyramid box shape, which doesn't seem too useful until you go to edit it, and then you can see fully through it again. So it's pretty much exactly like the previous way of peeking by editing. It's just a little more complicated to set up, but I mean, if you're healing up, you can do this and you can, you know, see everybody coming at you. It's a super safe way to do it. And then along with that, you can also raise the other pieces, do something like this, and when you go to edit it, you can look, I mean, perfectly through it. It looks like I'm unsafe and like I'm gonna get shot. As you can see, it's still right there and protecting me. But on top of that, and I teleported over to Loot Lake, you can also do it similarly with stairs. So this is more useful for like if you're in a 1x1 and you know you want to put it like this. You can't put something in front of it. That kind of makes it not work. But if you hold it and edit it, you can look straight through it and get a safe look forward. But again, you don't have that piece in front of you to protect your, you know, stairs. So you are a little bit more vulnerable. But if you do want to use this to peek, it's a good way to do so. And I mean, if you're rushing somebody, you know, just do this, edit it, and you can look through it, get a safe peek at where they are, and then, you know, keep going along with that. So it is very useful, something to keep in your back pocket just in case. But yeah, guys, since we're at Loot Lake, this leads us to our final tip of this video. And we might run into the storm a little bit here, but this tip, I mean, I just have to show it to you guys. And you might have seen it before, but it is a very, very useful tip. And it has to do with crossing Loot Lake. So say the storm is coming from directly behind us, and we need to go diagonally across Loot Lake. Usually you would do something like this if you want to keep going quick, but that wastes so many materials to be going diagonally. Now, what is a better way to go across Loot Lake? Well, if you use the roof pieces again, but instead, before you even place it, edit it to something like this, you get this special roof piece and then confirm it like that, and then maybe also rotate it if you need to. But if you put these pieces down, you can run straight diagonally, and sometimes it messes up a little bit and rotates when you don't want it to, but for the most part, if you can keep it going like this, it is going to save you a ton of time going through Loot Lake. We're not slowed down by the water at all. We're not wasting a ton of materials, you know, doing the thing we're doing back there. And I mean, it's just such a creative thing. I can't believe it's taken this long for somebody to figure this out, but it's genius, to be honest. And unfortunately, the storm is going to take care of us. But again, I mean, look at going this way as opposed to wasting all of our materials, which is like about the similar amount. So essentially, you can go twice as far with the same amount of materials, which I mean, you can't go wrong with that. But yeah, guys, with that tip out of the way. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for all the tips I have to show you. Be sure to leave a comment down below about which one was your favorite, or if you have another tip, I'd love to see what kind of tips you guys have that maybe weren't featured in this video. I have a couple more in mind that I'm saving for another episode of this series, which I will be posting in maybe a couple of weeks. I love doing these videos. They're so much fun, but these were some amazing tips, and I think they can be very useful for you. So if you enjoyed the vid, be sure to hit that subscribe button on screen right now, as well as check out some of my previous videos, such as on the left, going through 5 secrets about the rocket launch, and then on the right, another fun video I'm sure you guys will enjoy. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.